affects your immune system.
No, you googled it.
Hey, welcome back to Well. Today's episode, I don't know if you can guess by my shirt and the color that I'm wearing, which is pink, I will be talking about HIV and AIDS. Anyway, today I will be talking about HIV and AIDS, but I don't think I'll be talking as much as rapping. As per usual, I went around and asked some people in Indonesia whether they know what HIV and AIDS are. I didn't ask specifically Indonesians, but I asked a large range of people. And their answers were, some of them were correct, and the others were a bit disconcerting.
HIV itu kalau drugs bukan sih?
HIV is like the virus for AIDS. It's the virus can be contained from anywhere and anything dirty.
Okay. Do you think if you touch an HIV positive person, like if you give them a hug, do you think you'll get infected?
Yeah, of course.
No, it's I thought it's sexually transmitted.
Why is my opinion always different from everybody else?
What do you think?
What does HIV stand for anyway?
Yeah, do you know?
No. But I know it's sexual disease.
Who do you think is mostly infected?
HIV
Yeah.
or homosexual
Okay.
People have sex too much.
or like who's not cleaning properly before they, you know what I mean?
Okay. So if you touch an HIV positive person, like hugging or something, do you think you can get it?
Only touch?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But then
Napa rin?
I don't think so. But
So, before we start, here's a few facts about HIV and AIDS in Indonesia. So in 1983, there was a condition that arose that quickly brought to the attention of doctors. There were some citizens who had very few count of lymphocytes, or also known as CD4 cells. You have red blood cells and you have your white blood cells. Now, your red blood cells is to carry oxygen all around your body so it can work properly. Your white blood cells is more in charge of cleaning your body as term of like virus and bacteria. Lymphocytes or CD4 cells, they're the ones who like fight these viruses and bacteria. So for these people to have a lesser CD4 count, that is very troubling because that means their immune system is weak and they're prone to get diseases and get sick. So that was like the first like alarm in the country, though it wasn't fully declared that there was a case of HIV until the next year in 1984, where they had another check with like 15 other citizens who have reported to have a lesser CD4 count. And by then, they declared that 3 of them fit the criteria of being HIV positive. So that was like the first, right? Then, flash forward to this century, it was steadily decreasing, the case of HIV and AIDS in Southeast Pacific, which is including Indonesia. But then in 2015, there was a spike in our data because there was an increase of HIV and AIDS cases. But if you think about it, 2015 is very recent, okay? It's like 2 years ago. How come there was a sudden increase in that? Like, what? So, UNAIDS Indonesia have time to time said that the response for HIV and AIDS in Indonesia is very, how do I best describe this? It's not good enough. Like, there is a response, but it's not strong enough, not a lot. So I wanted to go around and make an alarm call to people that I know. When I was in Africa, I was like drilled about HIV and AIDS. I'm here to debunk the HIV and AIDS myths and also to deliver you guys some important knowledge and insight to this virus. It's a virus, you know,
Ow. Can a virus spread from human himself? Caught political uproar and then became a huge success for 36.7 million people in the world. Trying to calculate the math, but it doesn't work. I'm confused. People are saying it's a case from airways, nothing below the belt. So what's the truth? Is this even even a real thing, or is it a myth by the Chinese like global warming? Agent Orange, sit back down. I'm trying to teach a class here, I didn't hire a clown. So yes kids, here's the truth about HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus. First things first is transmission. They say you can get it if you so much as touch the person, but that's incorrect. Falsity! That's a lie! Now drop the stereotypes and look me straight in the eye. You can only get infected if your mama was infected. Even then the rates are so low that you might as well just drop it. And also, if she was on antiretroviral therapy, there'll be no worry, it's most likely a healthy baby. Second way is body fluids. I'm not talking about spit, you can share a spoon and lick, unless you have a wound. Then in the case, better be careful for things such as blood, semen, but not hugging, you fool. Don't share needles! Don't have unprotected sex unless you are sure you're clean. If not, then go and get some tests. Cause here's how it works. HIV gets into your bloodstream. You can't kill it, kills your T cells cause it's a supreme. This is a message that I'm trying to put out. Let's start a movement, let them know what it's about. It's not something that you need to be scared of. Not something that you need to be scared of. Let's make history, make future proud. Let's make our world safer for everyone now. We are the next generation. We're not lazy, that's a declaration. It's not like food. This virus makes you host and eats the cells that try to protect you from viruses. How ironic is that? It goes into your immune system. It's awful, but the process is rad. You get your CD4 cells, T cells, and your lymphocytes. White blood cells in your serum that exist so your body can heal just right. It attacks newcomers like bacteria and viruses to keep your body healthy. But when you're HIV positive, it's difficult. Cause the virus destroys these soldiers. First they use it for reproduction, then the cells combust. So now this human has a lesser CD4 count, and when he, she, or they catches the flu, their body's a battleground. It's not that their immune system doesn't work, it's just weak. They're prone to get infectious diseases and get hard to recover. Arts medicine, but it just lows chance of transmission. No symptom, only way to know is to get tested. Now listen. Without treatment, life expectancy is 3 years. In its last stage, HIV changes into AIDS. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome isn't for everyone. Now let's take a look at where this virus came from. In fair Central Africa, where we set our scene, we see chimpanzee meat just about to get eaten. But what our brethren doesn't know is that it has SIV, simian immunodeficiency virus mutated into HIV. This is their message that we're trying to put out. Listen to them scream and shout. It's not something that you need to be scared of. Not something that you need to be scared of. Let's make history, make future proud. Don't just stand around, let's do something now. We are the next generation. We're not lazy and that's a declaration.
22 years ago, in a decision rooted in fear rather than fact, the United States instituted a travel ban on entry into the country for people living with HIV/AIDS. Now, we talk about reducing the stigma of this disease, yet we've treated a visitor living with it as a threat. And that's why on Monday, my administration will publish a final rule that eliminates the travel ban. It's a step that will keep families together, and it's a step that will save lives.
It's something that we're living with. Can't ignore the truth no more. Gotta show you what we're looking for. Can't kill a virus if you're in it for the long run. Don't worry, just look around. We might not be there yet, but I know.
Wait, really? What do you even know?
That this is your message gonna put out the sun to them scream and shout. It's not something that you need to be scared of. Not something that you need to be scared of. Let's make history, make future proud. Don't just stand around, let's do something now. We are the next generation. We're not lazy and that's a declaration.
Right. What's HIV?
No, don't ask me, stupid.